Does a photo of hundreds of people laying on the street accurately depict the dire situation in Italy due to the coronavirus? No, this is not the case. The picture claiming to show people dead and ill splayed on the street in Italy, and as a warning to do more in the United States, actually dates to 2014 and is of a German remembrance project for the 528 victims of the Holocaust who perished in Frankfurt's Katzbach Nazi concentration camp. At least one other picture in the collage in a Facebook post was also stolen. But there is no relation between these pictures and COVID-19, the formal name for the novel coronavirus. The claim is made in a post published on Facebook on March 22, 2020. Above the collage was this alarming description and dire warning, quote, "This is what's happening in Italy. People are lying outside the hospital on the streets due to shortage of beds and hospital staff. Army is transporting bodies to the graveyards. We need to really think, are we doing enough in the US and are people taking the necessary precautions?" End quote. Users on social media saw this. There is no truth to the top picture being related to the coronavirus, as an alert poster pointed out. Rather, it was part of a remembrance project shown in the media, including the Baltimore Sun newspaper. Under the real picture in the Sun, a caption read, quote, "People lay down in a pedestrian zone as part of an art project in remembrance of the 528 victims of the Katzbach Nazi concentration camp, in Frankfurt, March 24, 2014. The inmates of the Katzbach concentration camp, a part of the former Adler industrial factory, were forced into a death march to the concentration camps of Buchenwald and Dachau on March 24, 1945. Some 528 victims of Katzbach are buried at Frankfurt's Central Cemetery." Kai Pfaffenbach, Reuters. End quote. The origins of the bottom left picture were not immediately clear. However, the bottom right picture is actually of victims of an earthquake and building collapses in central Italy in 2009, according to reports. This report came from the German outlet Focus Online on April 11, 2009, about the hundreds that perished in the quake and aftermath. Quote, "During the earthquake in central Italy, some buildings had collapsed like houses of cards, although they were supposed to be earthquake-proof. Now it is examined whether construction companies have botched. The public prosecutor's office in L'Aquila has launched an investigation. It should be checked whether the applicable building regulations were complied with or whether the building was less stable due to greed. We have an obligation to check whether some buildings were actually made of sand or steel, as several witnesses reported," said Chief Prosecutor Alfredo Rossini, as the La Repubblica newspaper reported on the Internet on Saturday. Numerous facilities, including a student residence and a wing of the hospital in the provincial capital L'Aquila, collapsed after the 6.3 magnitude earthquake on Monday. Engineers and geologists assume that buildings built according to regulations will not collapse in an earthquake of this magnitude. Firefighters had told Rai Television on Friday that some of the pillars of the cleanup had collapsed as if the cement had been mixed with sand during construction. End quote. This is not to downplay the seriousness of the situation in Italy with the coronavirus. Some 59,000 cases of COVID-19 have been identified in Italy, the hardest-hit country in terms of cases outside of China, and the country with the most deaths attributed to the virus, with at least 5,476 fatalities so far. Here is a chart from worldometers.info showing the Italian toll as of 10 a.m. Eastern Time on March 23, 2020. In the United States, also as of March 23, there had been some 35,000 cases and at least 458 deaths, according to worldometers.info.